Hi, my name is Autif Kamal, and this is episode 35 of Be Logical. This episode is about whether Edward Snowden, a recent whistleblower, should be prosecuted for leaking information about private information that the NSA was accessing from Americans. And the NSA is the National Security Agency. Edward Snowden is a 29-year-old former contractor for the United States National Security Agency. Now, when he made the leak about NSA tapping into Americans' private information, he didn't submit that on the web for everybody to see. He just submitted that to a journalist who writes for The Guardian, Glenn Greenwald. And in terms of Edward Snowden's background, I'm just getting that from ABC News. Name of the article was Edward Snowden's Life as We Know It, written by Matt Mosk, James Meek, Shoshana Walsh, and Lee Farron. Now, these were the contents of the leak, which I'm getting from the New Yorker. Article was written by John Cassidy. Name of the article is Why Edward Snowden is a Hero. So the contents of the leak were that the U.S. government regularly collects phone calls from 10 to 100 million Americans. And according to the article by John Cassidy, none of those Americans had terrorist links. Okay. In terms of who the NSA got access to these phone logs from, it was with AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint. And I'm getting that from Slate. Name of the article is Sweeping NSA Surveillance Includes Credit Card Transactions, Top 3 Phone Companies Records by Ryan Gallagher. So basically, if you have AT&T, Verizon, or Sprint and you live in the US, then it's possible that the US government accessed your phone logs. They accessed metadata. So metadata, literally data of data, refers to phone numbers called, received, the dates and times of those calls, and the durations of those calls. But basically, if they have who you called and who called you, then that means they could pretty much find out who you called and who called you. They wouldn't just be limited to the phone numbers, because who those numbers belong to is pretty easy to figure out if you use the internet and just type in the number. Now, also, the NSA also has access to your emails, passwords, and credit cards if they accessed your information. Whether they did access your particular information is unknown for either of us. And some businesses that were said to have been involved were Microsoft, Yahoo, Google, Facebook, Paltalk, AOL, YouTube, and Apple. It's been confirmed that the NSA has done inquiries with Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. It has not yet been confirmed that they've done them for Yahoo, Paltalk, AOL, YouTube, and Apple. And I'm getting information in terms of the companies involved from John Cassidy and the New Yorker, and also from The Guardian. The article was by Lisa O'Carroll. Name of the article was Yahoo, Google, Facebook, and more face fight to salvage reputation over NSA leaks. Now, in terms of Microsoft, Google, and Facebook, Facebook had about 18 to 19,000 account inquiries from the NSA. Facebook complied with 79% of that. I'm not sure what determined whether they could comply or not, but it seems like they didn't have to, since they only complied to 79% of it as opposed to 100% of it. Microsoft had 31 to 32 consumer accounts that were accessed by the NSA, but they were accessed via a data security warrant. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that the NSA had a legit legal warrant to access those accounts, but they had that warrant, which seems like a difference between Microsoft and Facebook. Google is still waiting for permission from the NSA to release information to the public in terms of what kinds of security requests they received from the NSA and how many security requests. I'm getting this information from Businessweek. Name of the article was Microsoft and Facebook Disclosed U.S. Security Data Requests. It's written by Brian Womack and Sylvia Weir. And now finally, this is a key part of this video or audio if you're just listening to it. It's the Fourth Amendment of the US Constitution, because this will determine whether Edward Snowden should be prosecuted or not. Okay, so I'm going to read that to you really quick and tell you how it relates to the topic that I'm discussing with you right now. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be seized or to be searched, and the persons or things to be seized. Okay, so I think how this is important for this particular topic is that, number one, they have to have a warrant with a good reason, and that warrant needs to be communicated to the individuals whose information is being searched and seized. Okay, now the big scandal is that the NSA did not do that. They just accessed the phone logs. Okay, now if the NSA does not have a warrant, that means they do not have a justification for accessing information. Okay, and the problem with that is that just means that if they don't have to present a justification, then they can access whatever information that they want, and they can make that information mean whatever they want it to. Whereas if they had a warrant, it actually kind of guides their search for what will or will not be deemed as suspicious. So here's a fictitious example that I'll give you. Let's say you hear a big bang next door, kind of like something blowing up, and a lot of your neighbors hear the same thing, so all of you report this to the police. Then in that case, it would be my assumption that they would have a good reason, or now a documented warrant, to investigate the house from which this big bang was heard. And how this would guide their search is they would look for materials that would be, or that could be used to make a bomb. Okay, whereas if you don't have that kind of collaborated testimony from all the neighbors, then you could turn anything into something suspicious. So let's say you find a baseball bat, a metal baseball bat in someone's apartment, and maybe someone irresponsible could use that information to say that, oh, you have a weapon in your house. Now this example is totally made up. I think this example is mostly just instrumental to show you that a warrant guides what those who are searching for. Okay, and that kind of leads me to the point that I don't think that everybody in the U.S. government is responsible in how they act. I would guess that there are some people in the U.S. government who are responsible in how they act, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was one person, at least one person, maybe more, who does not use the information that they seize responsibly. Okay? Now, my opinion is that I do not think that Edward Snowden should be jailed. I don't think he should be jailed because he was telling everybody that the NSA was breaking the law, and yeah, I can only see that as a good thing, that he told us that the NSA was breaking the law. I can't see how that would be a bad thing. So that's why I'm convinced that Edward Snowden should not be jailed, and that is it for this episode of Be Logical. Alright, thank you.